and welcome everybody to the 4th episode of Tales of Pastry's Mystery Baking Challenge. It is now time to find out about the 3 winning ingredients. Let's do this. The first winning ingredient is salmon. Thanks Polle for the salmon. Let's find out about the second winning ingredient. The second winning ingredient is tonic from Olivier. And last but not least, let's find out about the third winning ingredient. The third winning ingredient is pickles. Thanks, Jordi. The 3 winning ingredients are salmon, tonic, and pickles. So I guess this time it will be a savory bake. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to make yet, but I'm totally up for the challenge. Let's go to the shops. Let's go to our first stop, the fish shop. Okay, next stop, the supermarket. Welcome back into my kitchen, everybody. I have just been to the shops to get our mystery ingredients, and I got this beautiful piece of salmon fillet at the fish shop. And at the supermarket, I bought this gigantic jar of pickles. It's almost as big as my head. And at home, we still had a little bottle of tonic. So the idea that I have, which I'm quite excited about if I say so myself, is to make savory tartlets with a filling of whipped cream cheese and dill with gin and tonic cured salmon topped with tonic marinated pickles. So let's just try this and see if this combination goes right. Let's start. The salmon needs to cure for at least 24 hours, so that's the first thing that I'm going to start with. I have put all the ingredients for the marinade in place. So first, let's weigh down some salt because that is almost the most important part of the curing. And the salt helps to extract the moisture from the salmon. Some sugar. I take a couple of juniper berries. Some peppercorns. Some coriander. And what is almost always nice with salmon is dill. And then it's time to add our gin and tonic. 2 tablespoons of gin. And 2 tablespoons of tonic. And last but not least, the citrus zest. Time to blitz all these ingredients together. Watch your ears. All right. I have put the gin and tonic marinade onto the salmon fillet, but I see that the marinade is a little bit more liquid than I had planned to, so it is leaking out a little bit, but I will just wrap some more plastic around it and everything will be fine. The salmon is now curing in the fridge, and I think it's time to make the tart crust now. But first, let's clean up all of this mess. The kitchen is tidy again, and it is now time to start making the tart dough. The flour, butter, salt and mustard powder are now in the bowl, and I will just crush it with my fork to get a crumbly dough. I will transfer the dough on the kitchen counter and roll it into a bowl. Let's pop this in the fridge, and then it will be waiting for us tomorrow. Welcome back everybody to day 2 of the Mystery Baking Challenge, and it is now time to roll out the dough. I took it out of the fridge like 10 minutes ago, so it is easy rollable, otherwise it would be hard as a rock. I'm going to use these bottomless tart tins. I'll just divide the dough into 6 pieces. That makes it easier to roll them out separately. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's just sprinkle a little flour. The tart tins are filled with the tart dough, and I will put them back into the fridge for a little while to firm up before I bake them. Okay, this happens too. I wanted to put it into the fridge and now everything falls out of it. Let's fix this.
Now is my time to shine. When your time comes, don't postpone it.
Phew. For a while I was a little bit scared that my tarts would be ruined, but I fixed it. Luckily I was able to save the tarts. They are firming up in the fridge now, and I think it's time to marinate the pickles now in tonic. I have 2 ideas. Or I want to cut the pickles and the salmon into little cubes, or I want to slice the salmon and the pickles into slices and then roll them up like roses. So I think I will just make both and then we'll see what will look the most beautiful. Okay, but first open this big jar. Yes. I purposely bought really big pickles so I can cut them in nice even pieces. I have sliced the pickles in little cubes and little slices, but it's time to add the tonic to marinate them. I will just add a couple of spoonfuls to cover the pickles. Let's give them a stir. They're nice and bubbly. It's time to bake the tarts. Oh, before I forget, let's prick the bottom with a fork. This way the air can go away if the dough starts bubbling up. The tart tins are filled with baking paper and baking beans, and it is now time to blind bake them. Next step, the tarts are blind baking now. Aside from the tonic pickles and the gin and tonic cured salmon, I want to fill the tarts up with a nice cream cheese buttercream. So that's what I'm going to whip up now. To make the cream cheese buttercream, we need cubes of soft butter, then the cream cheese. Perfect. I add some salt and then whip this until nice and fluffy. I will add some lime to the cream cheese buttercream, some dill. It's a really fresh combination. Let's mix this up. Time to taste if it is good or not. It's still a little bit bland. I think it needs a little bit more salt. What would pair great with this is wasabi or something. I still have some in the fridge, so let's try that. Let's see if it changes something. It's nice, it's fresh, but it's still a little bit too bland to my taste. So I add some freshly ground pepper. That will uplift almost everything. Okay, I think it's coming together. The cream cheese buttercream is ready. Let's get the tarts out of the oven. The tarts have shrunken a little bit, so if anybody can tell me their secrets to avoid that, that would be nice. But overall, it looks quite okay. The salmon has now been marinating for around 24 hours, so let's see how it is doing. It has flattened out quite a bit. Maybe this thing was a little bit too heavy. And all of the liquid has come out of the plastic, so let's get rid of that. First, let's unpack the salmon. Ooh, the smell of the gin is really strong. The salmon has firmed up, so that means it's cooked, not by heat, but because of the salt. So I will scrape off all the salt, the sugar and the herbs. There's still a lot of salt on the fish, so I will rinse it underneath some water and then dry it with a kitchen towel. Now I got rid of all the marinade. The smell is a little bit softer, but still it smells really good. Okay, it's time to remove the skin of the fish. I borrowed my partner's big knife, so I have to be careful with that. All right. Just get a little bit more of the skin to have a taste. Oh, it melts like butter on my tongue. It has a taste of raw fish, like sashimi, but so nice and buttery soft. This is not the last time that I will make this, that's for sure. Really good. I'm going to slice half of the salmon really thinly and the other half I will slice into cubes. So let's get to it. Now I've tasted a little salmon of the middle of the salmon. That really tastes like gin and tonic, so that experiment has succeeded. The salmon has been sliced, the tarts have cooled down, they're nicely browned, they shrunk a little, but that's me with tarts. It is now time for the most creative part, assembling the tarts. Aw, a cute little garden scene. Look at this. It had been 2 busy days making these tartlets, so before I'm going to taste, I will give a small recap of what I precisely made. I made savory tart crusts, filled with cream cheese buttercream, with dill, lime zest and wasabi, topped off with tonic marinated pickles and gin and tonic cured salmon. I made 2 versions, one with little roses and one with tiny cubes. I have a small preference for the roses because they look quite fancy and cute, but of course they will taste exactly the same. Let's not wait any longer and taste. Ooh, it's super flaky and that's exactly how I wanted the tart to come out. Let's take a bite. The flavors go really well with each other. The salmon is buttery soft and the gin and tonic flavor is lightly coming to the surface. I was not sure if tonic would be a good addition to salmon and pickles, but it goes really well. It has that soft bitterness and the fresh and creamy flavor of the cream cheese bounce everything together. So I'm super proud of how it turned out and I think you all should taste it too. So go to www.talesofpastry.com to try the recipe. Thank you all for watching and coming up with these lovely mystery ingredients. I'd love to see you back at the next episode. And keep an eye on my Instagram at Tales of Pastry, because maybe next time I will be baking with your mystery ingredient suggestion. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe and comment down below if you are Team Roses or Team Cubes.